I was on probation, getting drug tested, couldn't indulge in the fine greenery, in the fine pine. I couldn't partake. I couldn't poke smut. It was the only thing I wanted to do, but if I did, there would have been severe consequences. I probably would have gotten locked up for who knows how long. And conveniently, during this period of time where I was, taking a forced tolerance break, there was something called K2 that was going through my town. All the degenerate kids were doing it. It was just, basically, it's fake bud, It's just this random potpourri sprayed with mystery chemicals, and it's a terrible time. If there's one thing in this world I can never recommend you to never do, it's this. It's just terrible. Just a panic attack and terrible times. But it being one of the only things that I could do besides drink alcohol, which is not something I'm, very fond of. I like a beer or two, but I'm not one of the kind of people that slamming bottles of Tito every Friday night or something. It's never been like that with me. K2 or Spice. Let's just call it Spice, because I feel like if I say K2 too many times in the video, they're going to demonetize it. So me and all my buddies would smoke Spice every day. And it was beyond sketchy. Like, you couldn't even just buy it at the normal store. Like, there was a period of time where you could go to a smoke shop and buy it like that, like Salvia used to be. But, listen, they caught on to it. They made everybody stop selling it in the stores. But then there was sketchy gas stations who would sell it behind the counter in their backpack. Like, they'd pull out the backpack. They'd give you like a fake receipt, something in the store to make it look legit on paper. It was ridiculous. I cannot believe I ever even did this once. But the reason I'm rambling and explaining the context of this is because of how we would have to acquire it. Obviously, a normal person with a decent moral standing wouldn't go to a sketchy gas station, buy mystery chemicals for a couple 16-year-olds to possibly die with. It's not something the average person would do. But, I knew somebody that, all rules were just off the table. He was the person who used to get me alcohol when I was that young during probation, and he definitely dabbled in an assortment of different drugs. Like, he was just the kind of person to do anything you got. So he was definitely down for going and getting this, and he was like the main person that I would go and get a ride from to go and get this stuff. And now that I've told you that, he's an assortment kind of guy, he's the person who just does everything. All the worst stuff you could think of, he was doing it. Not only was I risking my life doing this stuff, getting in his car was a whole nother story. The story starts out, I get into the car. He had one of those extended center consoles that it folds back, so there's another cup holder for the back seat. There'd always be one empty Four Loko in the back center console cup holder. And then in the front, there'd be one maybe halfway done. So, we're started off with 2 Four Lokos immediately getting in the car, not even knowing what the other things he was doing that day. So just to set the vibe of how this car ride started out. I got into the car with 2 friends. One of my buddies was someone who was like way more into Spice than me. Like, he was doing it all day, every day type of stuff. And I would take like little baby hits and be really afraid of it because it just give you panic attacks and it make you wig out and just terrible times. And the other person that got into the car was like this straight edge kid. Like, the only thing he'd ever do on occasion was poke smut, the sticky icky. And when he'd always have the funniest things to say whenever he got baked, man. I remember one of my favorite things was when he would get stony baloney, he'd be sitting back, and sometimes he would go like this, like, he'd be like, dude, what are you doing, man? What's going on? Are you okay? And he'd be like, dude, my brain is blinking. I'm synchronizing my hands with my brain. Dude, let me know in the comments if you guys ever had any friends who said some wild stuff like that. So he's just along for the ride because he's hanging out with my other friends. He's not knowing the situation he's about to get himself in. He's not partaking in the Spice activities, but we all get in the car, and the buddy driving, he never would seem like he was on anything. 2 Four Lokos, an assortment of other things. He just would drive pretty well, a little fast and reckless, but like, he wouldn't drive like a maniac or like someone who was drank 2 Four Lokos. I couldn't even do that myself. Like, now when I'm 26, dude, those things, don't drink those. You deserve better than that. If you ever want a mega migraine, just drink one of those. You'll find out. So it used to come in these really colorful, crazy looking bags. I guess it was like the first generation of like the exotic Mylar bags that you can find right now. They weren't as wild as some of the ones you see with like anime characters and stuff like that. They'd always just have these really trippy designs on them. And I remember I had one bag left with like a little bit at the bottom. We used to call it the crispy crumbles. Whatever they sprayed on this stuff, like the crumbs at the bottom of the bag would always be like 10 times stronger than the rest of the bag. So it was like the strongest stuff would be at the very bottom. And like that's all I had left. And we were going to go and get another bag of it because we'd always want to have one, dude. We're probably addicts to this stuff, man. This stuff was terrible. So we venture off, we hit the gas station, we get more, and I told him like, hey bro, I'll blaze some with you if you just give us a ride to the gas station. That was pretty much the deal, you know. Sometimes it'd be gas money, sometimes it'd be like, all right, you could blaze with us. He was like an older dude, so it was always kind of weird to like have my friends there. Like we were all like 16, this dude's like 23, 25. So me and my buddy are happy, we got our stuff, and then so it's time to blaze. We're still driving on our way back from the gas station. It's about a 15-minute drive back into town. We're on the highway. And I remember being like super nervous about being on the highway while he was driving. So I was like, do you mind if we just like wait till we get back in town and we could drive around? And he got annoyed, dude. He was just like, whatever. Like, I guess. Like, what? Looking back on it from how this story's about to be told, I'm definitely glad I asked him to wait. So we get back into town, and dude, these were the tinny days, you know, the days of crushing up the good old soda can, bending it like that, putting a couple holes in there. Don't do this. Not recommended. All right, couple holes in there, carb on the side. Those are some struggle days, man. Don't be doing that. All right, there's paint causes all sorts of mental problems. Don't do that. It's bad for you. Anyways, blue smoke coming out, not good. Just to add on to the unhealthy aspect of what we're about to do. So, you know, I make one of those in the car. I take like the smallest baby hit because I'm terrified of this stuff. Even though I did it every day, I was terrified of it because I watched friends have seizures and horrible stuff. And passing it around the car, obviously the straight edge kid in the back is like, hell nah, no thanks, buddy. And I remember this stuff would just hit you like a freight train. You'd be like sober, and then it would just shift your minds to this different realm of panic and just terror, nightmare. Like it literally felt like you were in a nightmare, and you have to just constantly tell yourself over and over again, I'm okay, I'm not freaking out, I'm okay. Why did I do this? You know, that's the only thing I have to ask right now. What the hell was wrong with me? But anyways, imagine feeling that while driving a car with 3 people in it, after drinking 2 Four Locos and whatever else he was doing that day. So we're cruising down the road, and I'm just like melting back into my seat, just trying to like focus on, I'm okay, dude. I'm okay. I'm not freaking out. I'm okay. And I'm looking back at my buddy because he used to take monster hits of this stuff, like go crazy with it. And I'm sitting there taking a baby hit, feeling like I'm on another dimension. And he's in the back, he's gone. Dude, he is gone, man. And then that made me panic even more because I'm thinking, dude, I'm in a moving vehicle right now. Someone is operating. I could never wrap my head around this, how anybody could drive on this. You could barely see straight. This dude's driving a car with 3 kids in it. I look over to him, and he's looking down at his phone. And I look back at him like, dude, like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? He's just like, dude, I gotta show you this, bro. I gotta show you this on the phone. And I could tell by the way he was talking, looking down at his phone, he was freaking out too. He was trying to distract his mind by looking down at his phone, kind of like you're in like a social anxiety situation. I don't know if everyone can relate to this. I feel like that's what a lot of people do. Like when you don't know what to say in a conversation, or you're just sitting around a bunch of people you don't know, you'll just look down at your phone, scroll on TikTok or something. That's basically what he was doing. He was trying to find like an Instagram video to show me. He's like, dude, I gotta show you this. I gotta show you this. And I'm like, all right, man, but just keep an eye on the road. And he looks up at the wheel like, oh yeah, dude, thanks for letting me know. And I'm like, panic. So I'm like gripping the sides of the seat, trying to just maintain my composure. Buddy in the back is just like, hey, dude, keep your eyes on the road. Keep your eyes on the road. And I keep looking at the dude driving. Every like couple seconds, he'd be like looking down at his phone, looking up at the road for like a half a second, looking down at his phone for 5 seconds, looking up. And I'm like, dude, what are you trying to show me right now? Like, is this important? He's just like, dude, it's this funny thing. Like, you got to see it, man. You got to see it. And he's like, just getting more and more focused on his phone. And I'm like, all right, man, maybe he's just going to find it. And things were just going by so fast. And then I remember looking up. We're drifting to the other side of the road. The wheels are just about to go over the 2 yellow lines. And we're coming up over a hill speeding. We're probably going 15, 20 miles over the speed limit. We're coming up around a turn on a hill. So cars on the other side couldn't really see us coming. Nobody's expecting you to be on the other side of the road. And at this point, it's like a slow motion moment. because I see the car start to drift. I look at him, he's looking down at his phone, not even understanding reality, not even understanding he's driving a vehicle. And I just see the car drift almost completely into the other lane. And I look at him like, dude. And he looks up and he grabs the wheel really quick, whips it back. And I'm talking this close. That maybe that close to this big SUV. We're just in a small low to the ground car. This big SUV slams on the horn, barely misses us. They almost had to swerve off the road to miss us. And you know what this dude does? He gets back in the lane. He looks scared for a second. He looks over to me. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. I'm like, yeah, no problem, dude. The dude in the back, the straight edge kid, he's like, dude, get me out of this car right now. Pull over, bro. Pull over. And the guy driving is like, dude, I'm fine. Don't worry about it, man. We'll go back right now. He's like, nah. Pull over. Let me out of the car. Wouldn't let him out, dude. Wouldn't let him out. You always got to be careful who you get in the car with, man. You see 2 4 Locos, that's red flag number 1. Get the hell out of there. Like, it didn't even feel real. I was so messed up. Looking back on it, this is the worst scenario I have ever been in my entire life. Like, danger-wise. And it just shows how much this, whatever it was, whatever they used to spray on this stuff, how much it would affect my, all right, to get the benefit of the doubt, I was 16 years old. My frontal cortex, thinking part of the brain, the logistical part of the brain was not fully developed. And I was also hindering it by adding mystery chemicals from whatever the hell they spray on this stuff on top of the, probably 1,000 Monster Energy drinks I drank as a kid. But listen, not great decisions. This was beyond one of the scariest moments of my life. Probably the closest I've ever come to checking out, other than almost drowning in the river, if you haven't seen that recent video that I made. So I know that there's got to be some people out there that are going to see this and then, want to seek this stuff out and do it. Please just don't. Like, I'm honestly begging you to not do this. I don't even think it's widely available. I guess the moral of the story, be safe out there, guys. You really got to pick and choose who you get into the car with, because you never know. You never know what they're doing, especially if they're an alcoholic or something. It's just, some people are functional alcoholics, so you just never even know. But any amount of alcohol while driving is not good. Let's keep it real, man. And doing anything, even blazing while driving, it still makes me nervous to be in people's cars when they're doing that. I can't lie. There was countless times when I was, teenager and stuff, and we'd do it all the time, burn rides, but it is dangerous, all right? I'm not trying to be PSA good guy YouTuber over here. Just, I care about you guys. Be safe, all right? Don't be an idiot like I was when I was in high school, man. Thank you to everybody supporting me on Patreon. I'll put a list of all the names on screen right now. For $1 or $2 a month, you can support the channel and get access to 180 plus 30 to 40 minute, some of them are 20 minutes, but usually 20 to 40 minute videos, question and answer, where I'm blazing, having Q&A sessions with you guys. If that interests you, there'll be a link in the pinned comment and the description below. Huge thank you to everybody on screen. Your support really helps me out. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any crazy in the car experiences where like someone was messed up on something, or just being an idiot looking at their phone and there was a really close call. I feel like, unfortunately, the amount of people who text and drive, it's crazy to me. It is crazy how many people you see just so distracted while driving. Being 26, it's a little embarrassing to admit that I don't have my driver's license yet, but I'm in the process of learning. I got the learner's permit. I'm getting some hours in so I could take the test. I'm still not as experienced as I'd like to be before the test, but we're getting there. All right, I'm working on it, okay? I've only driven for about a couple hours, but I just cannot comprehend looking down at my phone while I'm driving. And I know that it's like it turns into autopilot after a couple years of driving, so it gets easier and stuff, but I just can't comprehend it, let alone while being baked or anything like that. It is. Be safe out there, man. Be safe. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like on the video if you guys did. Helps the channel grow. Subscribe for more videos. I got a bread baking video coming soon. I said that in my last video. Hold me to it. I love making bread. It's super fun, super easy. I'd love to show you guys how to do it. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in that. Have yourself a snazzy day. Stay high, stay lifted, stay snazzy.